Hi folks, it's Andy. Welcome to this week's Kendo Rant. Okay, so here we are for another week of fantastic questions. We're going to jump to them in just a moment. We don't have so many today, so it should be a short, sharp, fast, quick fire episode today. We're going to jump to them in just a minute though, but before we do, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. There's a very important aspect to this. It is called growing the Kendo population. We have had over 7 million people start Kendo via this method. It was 6 million last year. We've already done more than 2 million this year, so we've done more than 8 million. I misspoke. More than 8 million. Quick maths. There you go. All you have to do, like, share, subscribe, click the little arrow. There's a little bell. It says notifications. Click that, write a comment using the word Kendo. What a great Kendo video. Wow, what a brilliant Kendo video this is. What that does is it tells YouTube to send out its ninja robots to find the people who are about to start Kendo, and it gets them to start Kendo. And by doing that, it grows the population. Pretty sure that's how it works. Pretty sure those numbers are correct. Do that and we'll get more people into Kendo. Okay, so do your duty with that. Now, there's one thing that's even more important than that. If you like this channel, if you like the videos that I'm putting out, we've got these Kendo rants where I answer questions from you. I do feedback videos where you send in videos and I give you feedback. I do videos where we do like analyzing Kendo and stuff, analyzing other players. I even did one of my own Shiai recently. I do instructional stuff. If you've seen the video I did about Men Kaishido, you should go and watch that. That's a pretty good video, I think, if I do say so myself. It's how to do Kaishido. I do all sorts of videos like that too, and it's all free. You don't have to pay a monthly subscription. You don't have to buy subtitles, none of that shady stuff. It's all free. But if you like it, you want to support it, you want to keep it going, great news. All you've got to do is shop at KendoStar.com, and I know that that's what you're doing anyway because you are a smart person, because KendoStar.com is the best Kendo equipment website in the galaxy, universe, Milky Way, solar system, and all of the other places that exist. The future and history of mankind, KendoStar is the best. Now, don't take my word for it. I own the place. Of course, I would say that. But everyone agrees with me with the highest starred, highest rated, not just Kendo shop, actually. We're one of the highest rated e-commerce websites on Trustpilot, believe it or not. Not even just in the Kendo industry. So we're the best at what we do. You're going to shop with us anyway. All right. I know there's pretenders popping up left, right, and centre, being little middleman, drop shipping your stuff from random countries, stuff like that. All right. We don't do any of that. We're a proper established brand. We know what we're doing. You're getting a professional service, professional quality. Your money is going in the right direction and you're not going to have to buy twice. All right. So you're going to shop with us anyway. It happens all the time. I want you to be one of these people that comes to us and goes, look, I bought my burger or my Hakama or my Shino, whatever, a few months ago here. I really wasn't happy with it, so I've decided to come and get it from KendoStar, and now I'm really, really happy. All right? Don't find yourself in that position. Just make the right decision in the first place and shop at KendoStar.com. That's KendoStar.com. Did I say that bit? Did I say that? Okay, let's get to the question, shall we? Okay, right. So I was wondering if you could share maybe one or two insightful moments of your Kendo career, whether it be from your sensei or training, that at the time you thought were trivial, but now in reflection have become kind of a integral part of your Kendo. Thank you again for the time and consideration, sensei, and I wish you the best. Wish your family and staff all the best. Gambare. Okay. Insightful moments that I thought were trivial. It's a bit hard to think of something that I like at the time. I thought, whatever. And then later I was like, okay. I think one thing, years and years and years ago, before I moved over to Japan, one of my sensei said, it was a Japanese sensei living in the UK at the time, and he said, you should approach the opponent, get to your cutting distance, and then from your cutting distance, don't move the left foot. And at the time I thought that was a bit weird. Like, why would I just keep my feet still? And it's not about keeping your feet still, but it means the moment before striking, you shouldn't move your left foot. You should then use your right foot to apply semi and attack without moving the left foot. And what essentially the message was not to do the sugiashi, which is a super common problem. It's definitely something that I was doing. It took me a couple of years to figure that out. I was in Japan for a few years before I figured out how important that really was. And why it was so easy for people to hit the debana on me was because I wasn't able to hit without moving my left foot. So that's that, I guess. What else? I mean, I've had loads of like epiphanies or like moments where it's been like, wow, okay, this has dawned on me. There's been like, I think the importance, a lot of it centers around the importance of the left foot though. I mean, I think that's massively underappreciated and understood. Is that a word? Understood? No, it's not a word. You can't say understood. But you know what I mean, right? Not understood well enough is the importance of the left foot in Kendo. Now I know we harp on about it, but it's super duper is. And I think when that dawned on me was this was I don't know how many years ago now, could be 10 years ago, but I was joining a gasku with a high school, very, very strong high school, one of the best in Japan. And I was dying because it was really super hard, and we were doing oikomi, okay, oikomi. And oikomi, if you don't know what oikomi is, then it's where you use the long side of the dojo and you do the consecutive hits against the aite that's going backwards, okay? And I was really struggling to keep up with the kids, and I found that really, really difficult to deal with because like this was like a few months before a world championship. And like I was going there to join the world championship, and I felt really embarrassed that I was like supposed to be a national team member and I couldn't keep up with the high school students. So I really like used that time to really focus on being able to become able to keep up with those kids. And what really dawned on me was just how important it was that it's all about how you use the left foot, how quickly you draw the left foot up, and how you use that to transfer your body weight whilst doing that practice. And that allowed me to realize the benefit of that practice. And it changed. I had a big step up in my kendo at that point, I think, actually. So yeah, there's been a few things like that though. But I think it all not all, but like it definitely centers around the left foot. Had another big one when I figured out how to practice properly with sensei, when I stopped trying to just compete with them and tried to beat them up, and realized that isn't how what sensei is there for. As well. So next one. Good morning, Fish Sensei. I'm thinking of getting a new Hakama. What's the ideal length of a normal Hakama? My old one is 2 fingers above my ankle. Should the length of the Hakama be the same as my ankle? 2 fingers above your ankle is probably too short, right? I like Hakama a little bit on the longer side, but at the very least, really, when you wear it, it should be like the bottom of the hem, the bottom of the Hakama should come to just underneath, like the bottom of your ankle. So the bottom of your ankle bone, all right? Not the top of it or the middle, the bottom of it. And really, I have it so that when I'm stood, the front of the Hakama slightly brushes against the bridge of my foot, all right? Now, here's one thing that's really important, and I think people get stuck on this a lot, is they get fixated on the sort of size of the Hakama. They're like, okay, this Hakama is 5 millimeters too short. It's like, well, just wear it 5 millimeters lower. You know, the great thing about Hakama is it's adjustable where you can wear it as well. You don't have to wear them all at the same height, right? So, you know, I've several Hakama, of course, and I tend to go between a 26 and a 27, depending on the model. And of course, with cotton Hakama, it's even less precise because they shrink and stuff. So some shrink more than others. So of course, not all my Hakama are the exact same length, right? So I just adjust the height at which I'm wearing it slightly. You're allowed to do that, yeah? That's, you're supposed to do that, really, all right? So that's another thing to bear in mind, all right? Don't sort of be like, oh no, my Hakama is a centimetre too short. Just wear it a little bit lower, all right? Obviously, there's limits. You've got to be, you know, within reason, you know? Okay, next one. Hello, Fisher-san. Hello. I have a question regarding Jordan footwork. I've never done Jordan myself, but I'd like to understand it better, which leads me to wondering about when is Asabaki as performed by the Uchitachi in Ippon-me Kendo kata used instead of standard Okuriashi. I have a nagging feeling you already answered this question, but I can't find the video. Anyway, thank you and keep up the great work. No, thank you. Okay, let me try and understand the question properly. So when is the Asabaki as done by the Uchitachi in Ippon-me, Kendo kata Ippon-me, instead of standard Okuriashi? So I guess what you mean is generally in Jordan, they go like this, right? And then they often do the kata uchi, right? With the left leg in front, bam, this way, and then the kind of Okuriashi like you do. But in Ippon-me, of course, they go from here and then they cross the right foot over, right? And then cut, like that, right? I guess that's what you mean. And so when do they do that with the shinai? Actually, it's quite common that you'll see a Jordan player switch their feet as they strike. So a really common one you see in sort of medium to high level Jordan players is they're obviously doing the semi towards the men. The opponent's thinking they're going to come for that kata men like that. And then as they'll start it, they'll come like this and then they'll switch their feet over and they'll drop them. They'll hit the two-handed kote. Bam, like that. Okay, so similar footwork in that they're crossing over with the right, but they're hitting kote instead. Or I've even seen them do men as well, where they'll like kind of do this way as a katsugi and then do a men with the right foot in front as well. So it's definitely viable and it's definitely something that they occasionally do. It's obviously not like the bread and butter of Jordan Kendo, but it is definitely a valid and useful technique, I guess. I'm no expert on Jordan, to be honest. I've never really done it. But yeah, that's it's definitely a thing, shall we say? Okay. Okay, next one. Hi Andy, I have this really nice Aizome 11,000 Hakama now, and I want to use it a lot. I understand this sort of Hakama is mainly for Shinsa and big events. Is it improper to use it extensively for everyday keiko? No, it's not improper. It's perfectly fine. You can do that. Lots of people do, actually. All you've got to understand is that the more you use an Aizome Hakama like that, the more it will eventually fade. So, and you know, in future you can dye it again and stuff like that. That's of course fine. But if you know, if you want to like present your very best on the day of a Shinsa or a grading, then especially it depends on what level you're at, I'll be honest with you. But once you get past, let's say you're past third dan and you're looking into like fourth dan, fifth dan, and so on, or you're looking at playing in very high level shiai, then usually people will have what's called like a shiai yos or a shinsai or whatever, like a set for best and then a set for training. But there's nothing stopping you just using it for training if you want. Absolutely. It's not improper at all. No one's looking at that. Do you know what I mean? It's up to you. It's yours. Yeah. So it's totally fine if that's what you want to do. Okay. Okay, last one. We're at the last one already. Okay, this is a short, sharp video. I said it would be, didn't I? Okay, anything to share on the family that practices Kendo together, the good, the bad, etc. From your own experience and perhaps knowledge or info from other families throughout your years. So I guess what you mean is like, because my whole family practices Kendo together, what are the sort of good and bad aspects of that? That's a good question, I guess. There's lots of good aspects to it in lots of ways. Obviously, we can easily train together. If we want to train together, we can easily just, you know, find a place and it just needs us, and we can have a good keiko together. That's certainly something that we can do. and it's something that we do, for example. So that's good, and we can give each other feedback and work together with each other and stuff like that. And obviously there's other benefits as well, like if we travel to an event or something, you know, obviously with us being a family, we travel together, we stay together, stuff like that. So it makes things a little bit easier on that front. And obviously we don't necessarily have the same sort of things where, you know, like my wife and I, we understand that we both do Kendo and both sort of understand what that is with each other. So it's not like if one of us did and the other didn't, then they might not be able to relate to each other that well. But we do have that. And of course it's not always super, you know, super good stuff all the time. It can be difficult and frustrating. It's difficult as a parent and a Kendo teacher. For example, in our situation, where my wife and I are both the teachers of our dojo, but you know, our kids are also doing Kendo with us. So obviously that can be difficult because there's a difficult boundary and a difficult line that needs to be understood and respected. That turns grey often, for both from our side and from theirs. So that can be difficult, definitely. And then obviously between my wife and I as well, you know, we're both on the same page mostly with Kendo, but it's not that we you know, we're not the same person. So sometimes there are things we think a little bit differently about, and you know, that's fine, and I mean that's good. It's not a bad thing at all, because it means that we can discuss our ideas. But it has been hard for me in the past, and certainly I think I've got better at it. But it's something I struggled with certainly when I was younger. Was taking criticism from my wife, when I wanted to hear, should we say, compliments, or I wanted to hear positive reinforcement from her. I found that hard on my own ego, yeah. But yeah, we worked that out, and it's something that I've managed to deal with over the years. But yeah, it's good, and I wouldn't change it for anything, if I'm honest. So yeah, that's my sort of experience with it, and I think the experience I've seen is reasonably similar across the board. My wife and I have a sort of Kendo relationship that's a bit different to what I've seen mostly with others, in that we're you know, my wife has done Kendo longer than I have, and in a lot of ways she's sort of my most influential teacher. So, and you know, even though now I've been doing Kendo for a long time as well, so we very much, I think we very much are at a point now where we help each other a lot. Her helping me more than the other way I expect. But the pattern I see more often is that one of the, like in a marriage of Kendo, where two people, or in a relationship or something like that, there tends to be quite a disparity in the what should I say? I don't know if seniority is the right word, or the ability is necessarily the right word, but there's often where one is like the teacher of the other. I think it's quite common for that situation to kind of develop. And I think that becomes a bit more complicated from what I've seen. But hey, you know, I don't know. I haven't experienced it on that side. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. There we go. We're at the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've got a fantastic weekend planned ahead. If you are emailing KendoStar this weekend. Just a little PSA. It's the Easter weekend here in the UK. That means today is a bank holiday, which is Friday. And Monday is a bank holiday as well. So we've got a bit of a long weekend. So if you email us over this weekend, we'll get back to you on Tuesday, all right? Or Wednesday, because we'll probably have a backlog. All right, but just be a bit patient with us on that, all right? Sorry about that. We'll still be taking your orders as normal and everything will be sent out next week. All right, so sorry about that. I hope you've got a fantastic weekend of Kendo ahead. I certainly have. Thank you for joining me. Shop at KendoStar. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.